welcome you back to Grace Hall on the campus of Lehigh University. Shel Siegel and Larry Sheridan bringing you the action. 18 consecutive seasons of bringing Lehigh wrestling to fans throughout eastern United States and nationally. We're back here now with Tom Tierney of Navy, a junior from Bayshore, New York, and Derek Brophy, a freshman from Comac, New York, for Lehigh.
Of course, Bayshore up there in Long Island, a great wrestling area. In the Garden City area, Channel 21.
Navy really has the heavy cannon out here now at 67, 77, 90 in heavyweight.
Tierney was a runner-up last year in the Easterns at 158, so he's up a weight class for the moment. Tough competitor. Brophy, a freshman. Near the edge of the mat, and they go into the brown.
It isn't often, Larry, that you can look at the way an early part of a match goes, see your team win 5 out of 6, and say the outcome is still very much in doubt.
It is.
And it is.
There's only 14 points separating these schools at this moment. As Tierney's working hard to get a takedown, they're near the edge of the mat, and he's turned his Lehigh opponent in toward the center and gains the deuce. Brophy standing up, but Navy wrestler going for a quick pin combination there. He wanted to go on a cradle from a stand-up. Brophy's in, but countered. And Tierney comes right back on that single. Brophy countering that opportunity, but he ducks under, slides around the back. Has not brought his opponent to the mat, which is a criteria. And the supporting points are out of bounds, just on the edge. And as in golf, the line is out of bounds. Again, in a short arm draw.
Stalling call on Lehigh. Stalling warning on Brophy. I tell you, I like the way John Osage officiates, though, Larry. He wants you to wrestle out there. He doesn't tolerate much dancing around.
Brophy's trying his lateral setup. Lehigh fans saying, okay, what's Tierney doing? He's backing away. See who goes out of the circle first. .30 seconds left, first period. Brophy again trying to work that lateral off his hip. Gets underneath.
Time remaining in the first period. For a moment, it looked like Brophy was going to get around, but he stopped right in the middle. What happened there, Larry? Looked like he was trying to swing around. He just
couldn't react fast enough to the situation. That's just an element that's in some wrestlers, and it's an instinct, really. A reflex.
Period ends. 2-1 lead. The Navy wrestler out in front. We're pleased to welcome in as one of our co-underwriters today, the Naval Academy Alumni Association, and they, of course, provide across-the-board support of the Naval Academy and the Brigade of Midshipmen. Today, that support extends to every area, from academics to athletics and books to buildings. Alumni across the globe are joining ranks to help ensure that the Naval Academy maintains the margin of excellence that's long been its hallmark. So we, of course, here in the Lehigh Valley do salute the Naval Academy Alumni Association. Thank them, Coach Ed Peary, Tom Bates, and all the fine people at Navy for the many years that they have been co-underwriters in helping to support the costs of bringing Navy Lehigh wrestling to fans throughout Maryland, the Washington, D.C. area, and, of course, here in eastern Pennsylvania. Second period coming up.
To you. You have to make a choice.
2-1 lead.
Okay.
Lehigh leading 18-4 here at 167, but Navy, of course, with their fine wrestlers coming up here in the final 4 weight classes.
Well, there's a situation where he dropped into the mat. It's left a little daylight, airspace between his chest and his
I'm
Navy's
surprised
back.
that
Well, that was the difference when we saw Iowa State here the other night. They never left airspace between their chest and the Lehigh wrestlers' back. When they rode, they were tight, they were aggressive, they were firm, and they really just stayed in there with intensity. And that's just a trait that you got to maintain. As an easy takedown goes up on the board for Tierney, he's now leading 5-1. But as part of your aggressive battling, you just hang in tight, very tight. Don't let daylight, don't let air in there.
what Lehigh's wrestlers have got to do if they're not going to win up in these weight classes, Larry, and of course they will try, is they have got to prevent the major and the superior decisions, and of course the falls, because that's how you eat up the big points.
Well, I don't think Boyson is going to test Mr. Kelly. I think Boyson will wrestle 177. And of course, Kelly didn't weigh in at that weight class. So he'll go against Neff, I'm sure. Cradle attempt by Tierney. Tom, a Bayshore grappler, physical science major.
Comac, New York, and Bayshore, New York, 2 wrestlers. Escape for Brophy. Riding time not a factor at the moment. 42-second edge to the Navy wrestler.
Some of the people down there watching, maybe out of Fairfax, Virginia, I got a long-lost cousin wrestling for George Mason at 177. He won one, so I'll mention it. George Mason knocked off Delaware. Mr. Sheridan won at 177.
Don't you wish you could get down to 177, Larry?
Well, it would just take a mere 30 pounds. But I don't wish...
You are a legitimate 190.
No.
You're ahead of my whistle.
Jumped the gun there. There you see the time remaining in the second period. It's a 5-2 lead for Tom Tierney of Navy.
Time running out, and the second period will conclude with the Navy wrestler out in front by 3. Riding time still not a factor at the moment. Actually, Brophy's not that far behind, Larry. A little flurry here, he could get himself right back into this.
I think Mr. Tierney is not going to permit that.
Brophy's got to be careful now he doesn't get called. He's already been warned once.
Near the edge across the line.
Stalling.
Coach Turner. Jim Riley down on the bench with Tom Hutchinson.
Brophy nearly tried to sweep in and ended up on his back as they go near the edge. Not a bad strategy, Larry. Just keep your opponent from getting back into the white of the mat. Just keep him backed up against the brown.
You know, as part of this crowd today, I was really tickled pink to see Al Zettlemoyer, whose health hasn't been the greatest, take the time and come over here and see the Lehigh wrestlers. The former professor at Lehigh, Dr. Zettlemoyer, was here watching the brown and white. I think it's a tribute to get a great gentleman like he was when his, I guess if I recall, he had the National Ink Institute here at Lehigh. World-renowned professor, Dr. Al Zettlemoyer. As Tierney swings around the back, doesn't get a takedown, but now has it. See, when you go around behind your wrestler, you don't get the takedown. You must bring him to the mat. So what Brophy decided to do was somersault, thinking he could get away. But Tierney followed him nicely, and with 30 seconds left, has a 7-2 lead, plus 1 point for time. And a cradle in the standing position.
I tell you, Joe Ryan has had a tough time down there. You can see him in the lower right corner, facing you now. He's been on the bottom of 2 or 3 pile-ups down there. They're going to give Joe hazard pay down there.
Give him one of the helmets.
They seem to know where he is. They haven't gone off any other part of the mat but Joe's lap, the quarter that he's sitting in.
Again, standing up. There you see the time remaining in these follow-ups. So it's 7-2 on the board. Whizzer, his knee was out of bounds. Absolutely, and that's what he's pointing to.
7 seconds to go. 7
Brophy.
seconds to go in the period. In the bout, as a matter of fact. And it will be a victory with riding time of 8-2 if there are no more additional points tacked on here. That will be it. An 8-2 win for Tom Tierney. Gives the midshipmen 3 more team points, brings them closer. Score is now 18 for Lehigh and 7 for Navy. And Ivan Boyason is coming